Conrad, the storyteller here, with another episode of Storytime for the Everyday People of the World. This chapter is entitled Gold and the Goat Herder. They say there was a time long ago when people of a village would have a market day, and everyone that had something they wanted to trade for something else they didn't have that they needed, they would meet up. So one of those market days in this village was coming up, and a goat herder decided he would take 10 of his goats to the market because his family needed things they didn't have. On market day, the goat herder and his family arrived early. The market started going strong. People were trading, but no one came by that wanted goats and had what the family needed. Finally, around the middle of the afternoon, a young man passed through and stopped and inquired about getting 2 goats. Since he didn't have anything with him, the goat herder wanted to know what he had to trade. Well, it turns out that the young man had found a few small bits of gold in a stream a few days before. He took a cloth out of his pocket and unwrapped it, and there was 3 shiny pieces of gold. The goat herder's wife was nearby, and she got sight of those small glittering pieces of gold and was immediately smitten by the shiny metal. So the goat herder looked at the metal and he inquired, "What good will that do me? I need this shoes for my child. I need this. I need other things that we do not have. We need some utensils, and that won't help me at all." Well, the young man, he took the goat herder aside and he said, "Well, I need to tell you some things in private that doesn't need to really get out among everyone in the village, but anyone that has gold is looked upon as being rich, and if you hang some of this gold around your wife's neck or from her ears, she'll remain young and beautiful all her life." Wow, the goat herder was impressed by that. They walked back over to where the goats were, and the young man, he held the cloth wrapping with the gold up in the air, and he said, "You know, this gold weighs much more than I thought it did when I took it out of my pocket, and it's so much heavier, and gold is worth so much, and people that have it, everyone knows that they are rich, and I'm going to have at least 8 of your goats for this gold." The goat herder, he balked at that idea. He couldn't see trading 8 of his nice goats for those small pieces of shiny metal. Anyway, his wife was standing there, and she kept pulling on his arm and more or less begging him to see what he could do to get the gold because she really loved it. Well, finally the young man agreed, and they started dividing off the goats that the young man wanted. When he held the wrapped gold back up in the air and turned his palm flat, moved it up and down and said, "My gosh, this gold is heavy. I'm going to have all 10 of your goats for it. I just can't let it go for nothing. It's worth so much more." And the herder, he was absolutely stunned. He didn't know what to do. All 10 of his goats for that little bit of shiny metal. He just couldn't believe it. But then the young man reminded him, "You remember what everyone says about how your wife will look if you make her some earrings of this?" And the goat herder thought for a minute, and the idea really appealed to him, so all at once he agreed. That did it. The goat herder said, "Okay, take all 10 of the goats and be off with them." So the young man rounded up the goats with their leash and started off down their way between the stalls selling things. And the goat herder, he stood there a minute realizing that he was empty-handed, as his wife had taken the cloth the gold with a cloth, and he was with nothing. But they started walking away, and he was thinking to himself, what a wonderful thing will it be for my wife to remain young and beautiful for all our lives. Well, sadly, that didn't happen. Everyday people of the world, it's been the same way since. The man with gold has doled out small amounts of it and eaten the goat herders' sheep or goats or whatever he raised, and everything working people have produced, while never having to wipe the sweat from their brow.